Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make are sugar cookies, but in particular we're going to use a cookie stamp. And you know, cookie stamps come in, well, you can find wooden ones, you can find metal ones, plastic ones. This particular one is actually stone, and it's a impression of an angel holding a star, and I just love this cookie stamp because I actually have a couple statues that actually match her, and it's quite old, so it's quite sentimental to me. You can use in any type of design that you want to buy. I mean, they have oh gosh, from hexagon shapes to circles to wavy lines. I mean, it's just endless what you can find in cookie stamps, okay? But I just wanted to show you mine in particular that I just love. It's a really quick, easy cookie recipe. It's a great tasting cookie. It's quite delicate on the inside, yet on the outside it's crisp, and it holds its shape. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to use my stand-up. It can be loud, and so I'm going to warn you when I turn it on in case you want to lower your sound or do whatever you got to do. I'll give you a heads up on that, okay? So let's start off. First, I'm going to give you the recipe as we go along. So if you want to jot it down or whatever, rather than to play it back, you can do so. And hopefully I'll do it clearly enough and slowly enough that you'll get it, okay? To make this sugar cookie recipe to use your cookie stamps, okay? So let's start off first with salted butter. Yes, I'll probably get questions, why is it salted? It really works well with this recipe. You'll need 1 cup, meaning 2 sticks of salted butter. I went ahead and I put it, just cubed it up, and it has been sitting at room temperature. I think it's easier to break it up that way, especially if you're using your hand mixer, all the more. The next thing that you're going to be putting in is 1 cup of granulated sugar. So far we've got 2 sticks of salted butter and 1 cup of sugar. Now I'm going to warn you about the sound. Do spend time to really beat this sugar and salted butter till it's nice and fluffy and quite yellow in color. The longer that you spend beating it will make a better cookie. It really will. So, and it's hard to say depending on what speed you're using, or if you're using a hand mixer versus a stand. But it'll be very creamy and very light. So I'm going to warn you about the sound. Now, I generally spend sometimes even up to 5 minutes. It really depends at about medium speed, to get the consistency that I want, but I'm moving it along and going a little higher and lower with the motor to move things along, so I don't have to, bore you and keep you watching that long. Now, once you get those two really combined and really nice smoothness and texture, you're going to be putting in a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, turning on that mixer. I'm also going to beat in a ½ teaspoon of almond extract. And now again, I'm going to warn you about the sound because I am going to bring it up a notch to get things going. And again, I would be using a slower speed, that type of thing. Okay, but you can kind of get a look. This could even have used a little bit longer, that's for sure. Okay. Now, the next thing is your dry ingredients and that you're going to need. And you will be using, what I do is I start off with 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, okay? And I actually reserve about 1/4 cup separate in case I need it. If I don't need it, I don't use it. And you're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? So far here I've got 2 3/4 cups all-purpose flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder, okay? And I was just looking for my little whisk, but I can't seem to find it. So I'm just gonna kind of just stir this around a little bit. I like using my whisk better. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start putting the flour with the cream mixture. And you'll want to do this on low so the flour doesn't go all over your kitchen. And whoops, I almost forgot. We have to put in 1 egg. Now generally I did make an error, so I do apologize. I put the egg in with the cream mixtures, but I made a mistake, so sorry about that. Now what I generally do is I wait and beat it till it all forms a cookie dough, okay? So I have to raise my speed, so I'm going to warn you about that sound. Now again, the same thing with this. You want to spend time. It might take you 2 minutes, it might take you 3 minutes, depending on your speed and the, you know, the appliance that you're using. Okay, I'm going to turn it on again. And I usually stay with it long enough that the beaters, the paddle rather, you know, cleans the whole mixing bowl. Okay. Let me get the paddle out. Take off the excess. Okay, and you can see how clean it comes out. I hope you can see that. And it just makes for a really nice cookie dough. Now, what to do is, before you take, you know, your paddle out and all that, check and see if the dough is super sticky. If it is, then add, you know, as much as you want to use with this flour to make it drier, because you don't want this dough too dry, but you don't want it too wet, because then the impression, you know, the design that you're putting in, you know, it won't show very well. So if it's real sticky, like I said, it's easier to do it when you have your mixing bowl. It isn't with this. In fact, it'll be kind of like a consistency of Play-Doh, if you know what I mean. So you might need the flour, you might not. You're going to use your good judgment whether or not you want to, a little at a time, use up that last 1/4 cup of flour. Now, I have baked these without putting them in the refrigerator, and then I have put them in the refrigerator and not put them in. And I have to tell you, chilling the dough, I found really helps a lot. But again, it might be different for you. So once I make my cookie ball, once you saw I wrapped it with some plastic wrap, I put it in my fridge. And it depends, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you want to leave it for an hour, that's fine too. And I have some already chilled to show you. I have a small portion, and this has been in the refrigerator. And this has probably been in about almost an hour. And it really comes out like this, feels exactly kind of like Play-Doh, you know. And to not keep you watching too long, of course, roll out however big that you want. Try anywhere from a 1/4 inch to a little thicker. It really depends on your cookie stamp. Put some flour on your countertop or whatever you're using. And like I said, I'm just using my real small little roller here. Okay, just to show you. And depending on your little press, you might have to put some flour on it, you know, so it doesn't stick. It really depends what your press is made out of. And then just press down on this one. I really have to really press down on this stone. I really do, okay? What I also like to do is then I find, this is a plastic glass. You could use a drinking glass. Make sure that it's wider than your design. And then I just cut around it like that. Then on a pan, you can use your parchment paper or whatever. I lift the cookie from the counter and I put them about a couple inches apart. We're going to do one more, and I want to show you up close the impression. And again, if you feel the impression, you know, you can't really see it, add a little more flour. Okay. I find with this one I really have to press very hard with it. And again, I'm just cutting one at a time. I would be making a, you know, my dough out so I could cut several at the same time. So I don't know whether or not, I hope I'm holding it correctly that you can kind of see it. You're going to be able to see it better in the pictures that I'll have for the video, okay? And try the various thickness. You might want to make them thicker than a 1/4 inch. It really depends on your stamp and what you like. I'm going to do that one just a little bit thicker so that you can see it. I like to make them thicker myself, especially for this particular stamp that I have. And let me pick that up. I'm hoping that you'd be able to see that beautiful design. I don't know if I'm too low with the camera or too high, but you can really see the angel, her wings, her star, her, you know, all the detail all around the cookie. It really comes out very pretty. Also, I have tried using a white of an egg with a little water as a wash. You might prefer to use that. I find that different cookie presses sometimes don't come out as well. The design, if I do use the wash, the egg white wash, so that's going to be where, you know, depending on, you know, trial and error, and if, you know, you've done these a lot, then you don't need me to tell you that. Okay, and like I said, I have had success with not chilling the dough, but better success when I did chill the dough. I found with using this particular stamp of this lovely angel, that when I left out the wash, the egg wash, or just the white and the water wash, I liked it better. So again, it's really going to be up to you, okay? Now you're going to bake these cookies at 350 degrees, and they can take you anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes, because you know our oven's set up so differently. To say exactly, you will want it to look kind of a golden brown on the edges. You don't want to over bake them because you don't want them too dry either, because then the cookie will break or fracture the design. So you're going to, you know, it's kind of trial and error, that kind of thing, okay? I'm going to wash my hands real quickly because I was working with raw cookie dough with eggs, and I'd like to show you what they look like once they're baked up. Now, I'm not going to say, you know, how many cookies you can get out of this recipe, because it's almost impossible, because it's depending on, you know, your cookie press, how, you know, how big, how small it is, that kind of thing. But anyway, this is how they turned out. Again, I do apologize if I don't have the camera shot exactly right, but you will be able to see it, bears repeating, of the photograph that I'll have on my channel, okay? Now the back side will bake up to a nice golden brown. I'm going to break one open, okay? You'll have a hard surface on the top and on the bottom, but the inside of the cookie is quite delicate. When you bite into it, it almost melts in your mouth. Now, that's going to be up to you how, you know, how much time that you want to bake. If you want to underbake them a little bit better, you might like them better than even this dark. So it's really going to be up to you of how you like your cookies. Here's one a little bit lighter, as you can see on the bottom, and even one here a little bit darker than generally I do them. I don't like the edges to be too dark, but that one kind of got it. So I like it more pale. You can decorate these cookies however you want. They have just a nice break to them and a great taste. Especially that little bit of almond extract in them. They're delicious. They really are delicious cookies. And like I said, you can, you know, decorate them however that you want, that kind of thing. So there you have it. A pretty easy sugar cookie recipe to use your little cookie stamps. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you do and you like it, well, write to me. Let me know. I'd really like to hear from you, and I'll do my very best to answer in a timely fashion, okay? So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.